Hi there, sorry about the noise in the background, I've got the dryer on again. But I'm thinking about knowledge and belief and mysticism, I guess. I made a video about, well, in response to Sugal Enran, and some of the conversation around it seems to be to do with you know, the effect that explanation or the effect that making knowledge explicit might have on the knowledge itself. You know, do we unwreathe the rainbow? Do we kind of destroy our is there something lost in our knowing of something, in our experience, when we come to know something better? And on the one hand, part of me just thinks, well, I suppose I'm torn, actually, is what I'm saying, because Richter Skates just left this great comment which reminded me of something that Richard Feynman had said, I guess echoing Dawkins' reflection on Keats unweaving the rainbow. You know, when Feynman describes his experience of knowing more about a flower. You know, someone says, oh, you look at the beauty of the rose, look, for example, and you know things like the rose now, and how can you possibly see the rose for what it is? And Feynman says, well, of course I can see the rose for what it is, and I can see the beauty of these equations, and I can see the beauty of the cellular structure under a microscope, and I can see the beauty of the ecological system in which this thing figures. And not just beauty, but other kinds of responses. You know, my engagement with this object that you find beautiful is being enlarged through knowledge, not diminished. And that's essentially what Dawkins is talking about in Unweaving the Rainbow. The idea that, you know, in response to the Keats poem, where Keats says, oh, well, that Newton, he's told us all about how rainbows work, so we can't like them anymore. And of course Dawkins says that's ridiculous. Not only can we like rainbows, but we can also like the spectrums that are produced by prisms. We can also like the mathematics. We can also find these explanations elegant and attractive and interesting and troubling, and all of the aesthetic pleasures that you get, and not just pleasures, but, you know, as I said, engagements that you get from different levels of explanation. So on the one hand, I'm thinking, well, that's just nonsense, isn't it? But there's a suggestion in one of the comments about, it's from Tabletop Joe, who I always enjoy your comments there, Joe, but you're suggesting that that something about mysticism is potentially lost if the mystic, and I've questioned what you mean by mystic, and perhaps I'll come on to that. If someone says that the only way that you can appreciate a certain kind of experience is via some kind of mystical relationship, would that be lost through explanation? You know, if the trickery of that was almost explained. I mean, part of me is thinking, is this about trickery? You know, if you can see the man behind the curtain, does the magic disappear, and is that always a bad thing? Because sometimes I think it is. Sometimes we need that kind of magic. So I don't know, but because part of me is really sceptical about all this stuff. Part of me just thinks mysticism, that's just bullshit. It's just another word for kind of sexed up ignorance. You know, in the same way that pantheism is kind of sexed up atheism, according to Dawkins, and I kind of relate to that. You know, we take the things we don't know and we slap a big kind of ooh label on it and call it mysticism or the mystery. So part of me does respond to mystery and mysticism in that way, but I kind of know what you mean. But I have to come back to the idea that mysticism, at least the way we're talking about it right now, is it's a felt sense. It's a propositional attitude. The feeling of awe, the feeling of ignorance, the feeling of kind of being lost in an uncharted realm of undefinable knowledge. That kind of, you know, that's kind of what it feels like, isn't it? These are all kind of propositional attitudes, in the same way that belief or certainty or knowledge or doubt or all these other terms are propositional attitudes. They belong to the self doing the engaging, not to the object under engagement or the phenomenon that you're talking about. I mean, to the extent that you can separate these things, which maybe you can't. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but either whether you can separate them or not, I suspect you can't. But there's a way of talking about this object-subject relationship which emphasises the subject, and those are the propositional attitudes, aren't they? So things like certain knowing and believing, intending, doubting, all these kind of things. Being gobsmacked in the face of, being awestruck. These all emphasise the kind of subjective aspect of that, or they look at the phenomenon from that direction. It's confusing, isn't it? I'm very confused by all this, but I'm trying. So yes, mystery. Is mystery just sexed up ignorance? Should we dismiss it? Should we embrace it? Should we enjoy it? I don't know.